Utah, and my first major stop is a Walmart. But I have to say, interesting view from Walmart. Woo, man, it is hot. Now, Utah has not been as bad as Nevada. Nevada was insane. The crazy thing is the Bay Area was like, the Bay Area of California was like way cooler than Nevada. I understand now why there's a friend of mine who is mostly based towards the Nevada area that's in the Bay Area for the summer. A fellow van dweller. Yeah, I get it now. Like, I feel it. Utah is cooler than Nevada, but still, just generally, it's been hot. I mean, even in California, it's been really, really hot. So I am feeling the heat right now. In fact, once I got back from Walmart, I just had both fans blowing on me, and I was just kind of laying still, trying to get to a point where I could like sit up a little bit, because I do want to get on the road. And at that point, I'll have on the car's AC, and so that'll be good, and I'll have that going. I mean, but this is van life. You're a little bit more exposed to the elements. There's only so much you can do on a budget, and one of those things isn't going to be an air conditioner, probably. In my experience, little cheap solutions, they just don't work that well. Now back there I have the I don't know, it's called the Camfro, no, something like that. But that's the Sirocco 2. The same fan actually Chrome has in his van, sent to me by Dylan. Thank you very much, Dylan. And then on the other side of me, I have this fan, which I got from Walmart. And it's very thin, so it's easy for me to have it on the countertop and manipulate it around. It is right now running off of 110 power. I know, USB. It also runs on battery power, but for some reason the batteries aren't working. So I just plugged it in, and I've been plugging it in. I got it because it also ran on battery power, so I wouldn't have to worry about like running a cable for it. But it is a bigger fan than some of the other fans I've had, and so it's been doing a really good job of sort of being my fan from the other direction. And with my windows popped out in the back, my windows popped out on the side, and the front windows pulled down, it's at least like better in here than it would be otherwise. But you know, this is van life. Like, it's going to be a little uncomfortable sometimes when temperatures are at the extreme, but also you can't beat van life. I mean, sorry. Especially when you want to get around and not be in one place. But I'm also hoping what I just picked up from Walmart, and like I said, after I got back from Walmart, I had to lay down and just have both fans on and as many windows open as possible. And it was still hot, so it was mostly like still a lot of hot air circulating, and so yeah, it was what it was. But the point is, I've thought about buying one of these for a while, and it's an ice maker. I don't have a freezer, so I can't keep ice. And the problem with my water bottles is, yes, I'll put them in the fridge. I have two of these Brita water bottles, which have filters in them. For all the people who are like, get a Berkeley this and a that, and you need filtered water, there is a filter in here. But as I've said before, I always get my water as drinkable water. I don't really, like, I haven't so far had to get water from questionable places, and if I did, at that point, I'd just buy some bottled water. If I was like, okay, I'm not sure about my water source, then I would just get, like, either a big gallon from the store, or make sure I had some sort of separate drinking water that, you know, all it would need was the Brita, and it's drinkable. But this water, even when I take it out the fridge, once it's in the heat, I am going through water bottles so fast. And like, once it hits the heat, like, it's like only like a few seconds from becoming like warm water, if not hot water, and just in the sun. And these are filtered water bottles. So no, getting one of those fancy canisters that are supposed to keep things cold longer isn't going to help too much. But if you start with ice in the water, you do have cold water longer, and then as the ice melts, it's becoming cold water before it gets warm, and therefore the transition from water being, you know, nice, delicious, ice cold water to like crappy warm water becomes shorter. Now, the reason why I obviously didn't get this in the minivan, I mean, it's still in the box, so it looks rather huge, but I think that's mostly just a box. We'll find out when I get it out of the box. The reason why I didn't get this was simple. Right now, it's sitting on a counter. Let me tip this. See, it's sitting on my counter. And what did I not have in the minivan? I didn't have counter space. It is going to be tricky figuring out where to store this, but I'll just have to move some stuff around. The biggest problem is under the sink right now, I'm overstocked in butane and propane, the individual canisters. And no, getting like a big propane jug to run my stove wouldn't help, because it would actually take up more space, because I can kind of manipulate the bottles around under there. My trash can is also underneath the sink. So the most ideal place to put this, honestly, is under the sink, and there's really no room over there, but I'll figure it out. I'll manipulate things around and figure out where I can store it. Biggest problem with this is storage, but the good thing is I now have a countertop that I can sit it on and use it. And before, in the minivan, I didn't have that option. Like, I didn't have the option to have quote unquote appliances that were sitting on a countertop, and now I can do that, and so that is awesome. And I am super excited about that particular change. I've wanted one of these for a while, and now I feel like I can have one. Really, the only problem now is space, because I don't know where to keep this. But I think it's worth it to have it, just to be able to have ice. Now, it cannot hold ice. The ice that it makes, you got to kind of use it right away, and it will turn back to water. But that's okay, because all you need to make ice with this is water. So, yeah. And now I'm actually not sure how much power this uses. I probably should have checked. I think that's the part I didn't check. Alright, guys. I'm going to try to unpack this, and then we're going to see if it works. And then there's one other thing that I bought some supplies for that I'll talk about in a second. But the main thing I want to do is this. The other thing is a small but large thing, for which I have things falling right now. That's also about gaining me some more space back in the van. Alright, check back in with you in a second. Alright, so it's out the box, and I've checked the instructions. The angle is making this look huge. It is kind of big. I think I'm just going to put it in front of my front seat for now. Don't know. In the future, we'll figure out how to make sure there's a place for this. But right now, in this build, in this form of the van, there's no place to really put it. But if it actually performs as I hope, that'll be good. Now, I checked while I was off camera. I also checked the wattage, and I think it only pulls, because like I said, I was looking at these when I was like in the minivan, and I only had a 400 watt inverter, and it says the power consumption is 90 to 120 watts, obviously continuous for as long as this thing is running. So yeah, we're gonna try to make some ice and see how that turns out. And yeah, I have no idea. I'm kind of excited about this though, because if I can just throw ice in things, especially on a hot day where things are like warming up, it'll just make such a difference, man. It'll make such a difference. So we're gonna plug this guy in, and it says I should see green. Yep, green going, blinking on and off. Okay, let's read the next instruction. Open the cover and remove the ice basket. I already did that because I was opening it up to like get all the tape out and stuff. 4, fill the water reservoir. Okay, fill the water reservoir. Let's do that. There's a lot of reservoir in here. I swear the pictures of these look way smaller on the website, but you know. Alright, let's do this thing. camera angle. If I was a good YouTuber, I'd do that, but at this point, I just want to see this thing work. Where is this max line they were talking about? I don't even freaking know. We're going to do a couple of rounds of this. I shouldn't need an insane amount of ice. Like, they design these things to be like for parties and like things like that, which is not what I want it for. So it'll be interesting to see how much ice it produces. Let's see, what does it say here? What's the next instruction? Replace the ice basket. That would be this thing. By the way, they give you a cute little scoop as well. Close the cover. And then hit on. I'm assuming that's the next instruction. Let's see here. Place your ice bag and close the cover. Press the power button and the green under light will remain on. To change between either small or large ice, press the select button until the light is lit up beside the desired ice size. It says it should take about 13 minutes, 8 to 13 minutes to make ice, which is great. 8 minutes. The ice full LED will light up when the ice basket is full, and the ice maker will stop ice making cycle automatically. Gently remove the ice from the ice basket with the ice scoop. Blah, 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 blah. Ice maker's still going. It's a much slower process than I imagined. So let's talk about this other thing that we need to take care of. So I didn't know what to do with my ladder. That's one of the extra moving blankets that I kept. We're just gonna move this out the way for now. We also have, that's still the backup camera under there, and I just knocked down the fan. Fun. I'll go pick it up in a second. That's still the backup camera under there. But the only place I knew to put this was the back of the chair. Like, I didn't know what else to do with it. It was kind of out the way. But the thing is, when there isn't all this junk in the way, the slider for the fridge does get limited by this ladder being here. That box is insignificant because at some point I'll hook up the backup camera, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. So we got this ladder here, and at first people were like, put it on the roof, put it on the roof. I'm like, how am I going to put it on the roof when I need it to get on the roof? Like, its main purpose is that it allows me to have access to the roof. So how can I possibly put it on the roof? And then I was like, oh, if I get a step stool, the step stool will give me enough lift to lift that to the roof, and then all I have to store in the van is this little folding step stool, which is also useful for sitting on as an extra seat. And I've had one of these before, and this can easily slide almost anywhere like that. Keeping that in the van isn't going to be a problem. So this is completely unrelated. All of the people who suggested that I have a way to hook my fitness bands to the roof of my van, I thought about it, and you were kind of right. Smart idea. So I bought this unrelated to the ladder. So that's going to get me close enough to the roof to put the ladder up there. Then I need to safely strap it down, which is why I got these bicycle chain locks. And hopefully that will work. So I'm gonna give that a short drive test and we'll see how it does. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm gonna have to dig out the ratchet strap and make myself more comfortable with it. So the ice maker pretty much isn't working, or at least not working efficiently. Could be a number of reasons. Maybe it's not level enough. Maybe there's other stuff going on, but it ran for 20 minutes and produced like 4 measly pieces of ice. And then I had it running while I was taking care of the ladder situation, and it's produced like 6 pieces of ice, and I don't even know how long it ran. But it's not doing what I was hoping it would do, which was at least give me like a decent basket of ice. So I guess that's going back to Walmart after I waited around for it to be delivered. But I can always go and like get ice from like stores and stuff. Like usually if you walk in and you say, hey, can you give me a cup of ice, it doesn't cost that much. So that's where we are with ice. I tried something, didn't work. Happens sometimes. I still can't get over this view from Walmart, and really like the camera doesn't even like capture how crazy this is. But as cool as this is, it's time for me to get out of here. I've been still for too long.